So I'll be talking about my experience during the Salkantay Trek. It's actually kind of like unplanned because I just wanted to get to Machu Picchu and I honestly didn't do any planning because it was a very last minute decision. So I only decided to actually get to Peru, Machu Picchu kind of like 2 weeks before, and I was like, what's the best way to get there because it was truly last minute. And it seems like the only way that was, to get there that was not fully booked yet was to do the Salkantay Trek. The Inca Trail is the popular one, which apparently gets booked out like really, really early. So if you ever want to go to Machu Picchu through the Inca Trek, you gotta like plan way in advance. But I managed to actually book Salkantay Trek 2 weeks before. Not the most wise decision, but I mean, it's an option. The only downfall is that because if you get to Machu Picchu, there's actually like 5 different circuits. And because I booked it so last minute, I only could get onto circuit 1, which means that it has the viewpoint of Machu Picchu, but I wouldn't be able to be at where the ruins are, which is a little bit disappointing, but I think that's fine because I just wanted to see like Machu Picchu from the viewpoint, so maybe next time. So this is something to consider. It's currently 4:15. I just got up not too long and just packed up my stuff because today is my first day off the trek. I'm waiting for my pickup and honestly I'm just so tired. Like, I thought I was gonna rest and sleep a little bit more, but you know, things happen. So I'm just gonna catch some sleep on the bus later. All I'm carrying with me on the trek is this backpack. I call it my water bag. And then I like to travel light, so this fanny pack. And then I kind of like just sling my phone so it's easy for me to take pictures. And this is the backpack that duffel bag that they gave us, which I'm done packing all my essentials, and that's it. We arrived at this local restaurant for breakfast. It's a buffet style, nothing too fancy, so it's just a really light breakfast. And after breakfast, we finally drove to the starting point of Salkantay Trek, and this is kind of like the last time to pack what you need into your day pack before we start the hike. We begin on this trail that's pretty much of a flat path that continues about 20 to 30 minutes before we reach the base of Humantay Lake. Even though it's a flat path, I pretty much felt like at this point I needed a break. So of course I was gonna, take videos of the llamas and alpacas. Like, look at them, they're so cute. I feel like that's the whole reason why I'm here too. So this is the base, and for some reason it looks like an easy climb up. Like, I felt like it would probably take you maximum, I don't know, 30 minutes, but I was so wrong. At this point we're only like halfway through, and I think I took probably like an hour due to the altitude. It was just so tough, and I felt like I was going to give up at this point, to be honest. See that path? That's where I'm supposed to go. It's pretty. A little bit more to the lake. It felt like forever for me to get to the lake. I think I took probably 2 to 2.5 hours. I'm not too sure. Well, at least I made it, and look at how blue the lake is. It's really gorgeous. Here's me just being really excited that I finally reached the top because I really thought I was gonna die at this point.
Yeah, buon appetito, amigos. Yeah, enjoy your meal. We boil water in order to wash the vegetables. Yeah?
After lunch, we pretty much have the rest of the day to ourselves to, rest and I guess wait till dinner time. So this was about, I would say, 2 to 3 p.m. and where everyone was just, I guess, unpacking their stuff. You can also walk around, which is what I did. And just get some sleep in before tea time, dinner, which is around 6 or 7. So this is the row of huts that we stayed in. That was really nice. Apparently, I think we were supposed to get the igloo ones, or at least that was advertised. But I don't know why we got the huts instead of the igloos, which was a little bit sad. But I thought this was still pretty, so I'm not complaining. The temperature changes throughout the day where it's really cold in the morning as well as the evening, but in the afternoon it gradually gets warmer, can get a little bit windy sometimes. Okay, now I finally have a bit of breath to start talking because I finally have lunch and rest. I would say it doesn't look steep, and honestly speaking, if I were to do that at like not at a 3006 or 7 sea level, I would have been able to finish it, I don't know, easily within 20 minutes max or 30. But because we are at 3007/8 or 9 above sea level, oh wait, it might actually be 4000. Okay, honestly I have no idea now at this point. It feels like every 6-7 steps you take, you have to like take a short break. Even though it's not as like steep as the previous volcano hike that I did, I felt like maybe because I took the pills, so it kind of like maybe helped me a little bit to, I don't know, I'm not sure. So I haven't had any altitude sickness, which is really good because that's not what I want. I don't want to feel nausea, I don't want to feel dizzy, so I have none of that, which is good. But the only thing is that as I'm hiking up, obviously I would have to like slow down my pace. I can't just walk as fast as I used to. What am I saying used to? yeah, that's what I'm saying. And also because I found out that people with low blood pressure would not be able to adjust to like elevation or like altitude as fast because our heart pumps like slower. That's what I googled. So apparently because our heart pumps like slower when we are like climbing up and stuff, especially when the air is really thin, it takes like longer for our heart to like pump because we have low blood, like our heart pumps slower, right? So that means like you have like, you would feel like a shortness of breath, and like you feel like you would like to pant. It's crazy because now while I'm talking, consistently talking now, I feel a little bit out of breath as well. So I hope my body adjusts to this air and elevation soon so that I feel much better, and apparently tomorrow is going to be like the toughest, but I'm actually really excited about it. Oh, you pretty houses. Day 2, weather's good. We just had breakfast and everyone is just getting ready before we go over those mountains. Barely had any sleep, so I look like shit. But I'm ready. Some folks in my group walk really fast, and then meanwhile you have a bunch of us walking pretty much at a more moderate pace because we just want to enjoy the views. I mean, look at these views. Like, why would you want to rush the pace of your hike? And I don't know what we're rushing for, so I rather like, you know, take my own sweet time. I mean, at the end of the day, you have to wait for the rest of the group to come together anyway. Apparently day 2 is supposedly challenging, which is why there is an option to opt for the horses to reach the next peak. I personally think day 2 was way more bearable. I think it's just a little bit longer, but I wouldn't say it's difficult compared to day 1. Maybe because my body hasn't been adjusted to the altitude. Wow. Halfway there, yes. I guess.
It's not like so far away.
Too tired to talk, but we finally made it to the top. Okay. So this is at 4006. I think this is the highest peak of the whole Salkantay Trek. Our guide Carlos then gathered us in the circle where he actually performed this local ritual to Apus, which is mountain gods in local belief. I thought it was actually really nice because it's kind of like a kind reminder to be appreciative of Mother Nature and just be very like present and appreciate the landscape around you. I hike for views like this. As you can tell, I'm seriously in awe in the views. I can't just stop taking enough like photos and videos, and sorry for like my panting at the background because I was really trying to catch my breath. After about 2 hours, we actually stopped by at this small little hut for lunch, which I forgot to take videos of lunch because I was too tired and too hungry. After a short nap, we continue trekking down away from the Andes region towards the Amazon, where we will be reaching the second night of accommodations. So we have got to second day campsite. So this is our campsite for tonight with the view again. We just completed day 2 hike and we're at campsite for day 2, and there are so many huts, so that means I get my own private cabin today. This is how it looks. Oh my god, look at that view. Amazing. Perfect, man. As you can tell by now, every meal will come with a soup. So glad to have omelets, and it was really tasty. After breakfast, we had this nice little ceremony for the porters who have cooked for us as well as carried our stuff, which was really nice because if not, this trek wouldn't be possible without them.
You can say your name and nationality, yeah? My name is Carlos from Peru.
We started the day with a 5-hour trek, which is pretty much on a flat terrain through the Santa Teresa Valley. We're kind of just walking along the river where we get to see some waterfalls too. It's pretty much of a different view from the last 2 days. Ooh, that's where we stayed last night. Look at it. It's day 3. We are going in and out of the forest, into the valley, lots of waterfalls, mountains. It's pretty cool. And the weather is nice. It's not hot, cooling. Finally, a pit stop where we got to try this really nice passion fruit. I think it was the best passion fruit I've eaten in my life. So I think our group kind of adopted this stray dog, or rather, he has been following our guide Carlos throughout since day 1, and we're just surprised at how far he has followed us. We finally arrived in Lukma, where this is a local family run coffee plantation place. And then we got to see how the entire coffee production process. So here's our guide showing us how they actually, I would say, I don't know, cook the beans or something. Yeah, or like how they prepare the coffee beans. So you kind of like stir it really fast so that it doesn't get burnt, but not too long that it gets burnt. I would say probably like to a golden brown color, which is what we see here.
No good. Do Thomas. Come. We're gonna hold this, Thomas. Yeah.
That smells so good. The coffee not only smell good and tastes really good, which is why I proceeded to order a latte because I haven't had a good cup of coffee in days. So a latte would be so nice right now after like a 3-day hike. We just arrived at campsite for the night. There's the view. Campsite for day 3 was just tents on this like large green patch area. This was lunch. I think it was the best lunch for all days. And I love how there were avocado trees everywhere. I wish I could just pluck one avocado, but they're not ready yet. And then after lunch, we just had the afternoon to laze around, chill. It was a really chill day, and then we got ready around 4 or 5 to take about a 1 to 2 hour drive down to the baths. It was a pretty bumpy ride because it's really narrow, and we finally arrived at the bath area where the entrance fee was about 4 USD, and we had like I think 2 hours at the bath. It's not really hot, but I would say it's still pretty comfortable for like a natural hot spring. And this was dinner time once again, really yummy. It was a really nice day overall.
No judgment.
On the fourth day, we started the 3 hour ascent to this peak, which is I think part of the Inca Trail. So apparently, there's this like ecological site of Llactapata that you can actually see Machu Picchu from the back, but not Machu Picchu.
I really like salmon comes along. I think it shows numbers of salmon actually like salmon and fruits and salmon.
At this pit stop, I saw there was a swing. Of course, I had to try it, and I ran all the way up. And not just me, but a bunch of folks from the other group was also excited. So we're just taking turns. And honestly, it's actually quite dangerous because if you like lose balance, you kind of just fall out and probably roll down the mountain or something. But you know what? YOLO. This is some of the Llactapata ruins where we could see the view of Machu Picchu from the back. We kind of just sat here for a little bit, take a short break before we begin our descent towards Hidroelectrica, where the train station is before we reach Machu Picchu. I can't believe for all 4 days we have gotten clear skies. Look at how clear there is, like in terms of the mountain range. It's just incredible. So from here we begin our descent towards the train station. It's kind of just a hike all the way down, nothing much in terms of views. It's quite a boring trek back, I would say. At this point, I was actually walking really slow because the blister on my feet gotten really bad and I just couldn't walk as fast as the last few days. So I was just taking my time, I think because my shoe was too tight. And then we finally arrived at this lunch spot where the train station is. Hiking through near the train tracks on the way to our hostel for tonight, where we would stay for the night and then go to Machu Picchu tomorrow. After lunch, we began trekking along the train tracks all the way to the base tower of Machu Picchu. I would say I really hate this part of the trek. It felt forever, even though it's supposedly like a 2.5 hour trek and it's just flat terrain. But it was so boring and it was just not fun at all. I think at this point I was just too tired and like exhausted. I just wanted to like get over and done with the hike. So we arrived at the base tower of Machu Picchu around I would say 4 or 5 o'clock, and we're actually just gonna spend a night at this hostel, and then we would wake up in the morning for the hike to Machu Picchu.
All this stuff is so like relaxing. What you fix?
I gotten a fever the night before, so this is me really just using the last bit of my energy hiking up to Machu Picchu. It's just a straight way up, but it's pretty steep still, and it's about an hour hike. And I wish I had more energy, but I somehow made it. Maybe I should have taken the bus, but I finally made it. And here's the views, amazing views of Machu Picchu. Great weather. We lucked out. Thank God there's no clouds. And look at the llamas. They're like so cute. And here's me just appreciating the view and looking really tired, but I made it. Took the bus down and got lunch at this restaurant near our hostel. Spent the afternoon walking around town since I have lots of time to kill as my train was at 3 p.m. I didn't want to push myself too much because I was still recovering from a fever, so I just took my time, walked really slowly. And I've actually upgraded my train to the Vista Dome. That means like you get so-called like 360-degree windows. I really didn't think it was worth it. It did came with a snack box, but I don't think it's worth the upgrade. And this is what they call 360 degrees, which I wouldn't recommend at all. I booked it with Machu Picchu reservations. I think there are a lot of tour companies and options, but I found them online. I mean, you can also like go to town and like, you know, take a look and stuff, but I went with Machu Picchu because I think they were the cheapest option, and it seemed very reasonable. I only paid about $240. That's not inclusive of the train. So after including the train and add-ons here and there, I paid a total about 320 because I decided to upgrade my train to Vista Dome, which honestly it wasn't a good decision because the views were alright, and I don't think it's worth paying like extra, I don't know, $60 more for that such a short ride. I wish I did my homework earlier. I didn't think much about it. So yeah, but in total I paid about $320, and that includes both accommodations and meals. So the only thing that will probably add on throughout the day, throughout the trip were like, you know, extra like maybe entrance tickets here and there, but and like probably water when you want to stock up supplies on the way. That being said, I don't think I spent more than like maybe maximum extra $30 like throughout the 5 days. So I would say like for 5 days 4 nights, including entrance to Machu Picchu, I only paid a total like maybe 380 max, which was very reasonable. Given it's actually quite expensive to get to Machu Picchu. So if you are looking for a cheaper option to get to Machu Picchu, this is a better way to get there. But of course, the hike is not easy. It's a total of 72 kilometers. Not too sure what is that in miles, but you'll basically be hiking every day for at least like 5 to 6 hours, and I was not prepared for that. All I did before this was just going to the gym for like HIIT classes, and I do bar like pretty regularly. So I do consider myself pretty fit, but it's not about the trek. I would say is not tiring in terms of inclination. It's a quite like a flat walk throughout, but what was challenging is really the altitude. So totally recommend to like, you know, fly into Cusco earlier to, you know, get used to the altitude levels, because I stupidly flew in just a day before the trek and I only had probably 1 day to adjust to it. Lucky I met someone you know, at Guatemala a week before who told me to get like altitude sickness pills, which I did. So I kind of just took that, you know, like every day, one or twice a day, just to, you know, just in case I feel sick. It's kind of like a prevention thing, so that's what I would recommend to do. Overall, I think it's super worth the money for what you're paying for, because you just get like we get a duffel bag where you can put up to like 7 to 8 kg of your things, and you don't have to carry it throughout the trip because there are porters. There'll be like horses, you know, carrying your stuff towards different campsites, and all your meals are included, like breakfast, lunch and dinner, and it's all prepared by the guides and super yummy, super clean as well, because I have like, you know, bad stomach problems, so that was kind of like my concern. But the food was really clean. I had no stomach problems throughout my trip. Accommodation wise, I think it's pretty good in terms of the price, because it's kind of like camp glamping. I mean, like, of course you're not expecting like a fancy hotel and a proper toilet, but I think it's really nice to just have like, you know, campsites already set up for you, and then there are mattresses provided as well, and all you need to do is just, you know, put your sleeping bag on top of the mattress. So I would say I did get very comfortable sleep throughout the days, except that on some days it got really cold, so just remember to pack like, you know, thicker layers. Yeah, overall, I think my group, I was good with a bunch of people from the UK as well as Australia. I think my group was a little bit divided. Like, you could tell the pace that people are walking were very different. You have people walking like super fast, and then you have like me and this other guy and this like French couple who walk a little bit slower. So we call ourselves a, you know, slow group, the slow but steady group. So yeah, I think it really depends on who you're good with. I felt my group was alright. Like, I don't think we really bonded because we were walking at very different paces, but I did bonded with the people I was walking with. So I think it really depends. Generally the age group was about maybe 24 to 30. It's a good mix, yeah. What else? Yeah, I think in terms of packing and preparation of the hike, I think really just fly into Cusco early so that, you know, you get used to the altitude levels. In terms of fitness, I think it's suitable for almost all levels, because it's more like being able to walk for very long hours on a flat path and get really like good hiking shoes, because I think my right foot is bigger than my left. So what happened was I ended up getting like a huge blister on my right feet because of my shoes. Other than that, I think it's pretty doable. But like what I say, like, I remember myself panting like every 3 to 5 steps because of altitude. So maybe if you're someone who's not used to altitude levels,
you'll find yourself like panting way much more. But if you walk like at a pace that you're comfortable at and like maybe at a slower pace, I think it's fine. Yeah, I think pretty much it. Throughout the whole trek, I think the views are amazing. I think you would see me like saying that all the time. I would, you know, totally like recommend anyone who wants to do Machu Picchu in a more like challenging and I guess not too touristic way is to do the Salkantay Trek. And then at the end of the trek you will get this like shirt. So yeah, this is the shirt that I've gotten. I survived the Salkantay Trek, yay. But yeah, just remember to, you know, plan early, plan in advance. But if I could do it in, I don't know, in a 2 weeks kind of decision, I'm sure anyone could do it.